Hi there, and welcome to our introduction to time management. We're going to talk about a few different time management techniques that you can use. Of course, there are so many more out there. These are just some of the ones that work for Jackie and myself. Um, so we're going to be talking about Google. We're going to talk about Google Calendar, Google Drive, and aspects of Gmail as well. We're also going to talk about Trello. We're going to talk about Microsoft OneNote. And lastly, we'll have some tips for you on hands-on organization for those of you who might prefer to write things down, make lists, or use a planner, things of that sort. But before we get started, I just want to give you some tips on time management. First of all, it's supposed to reduce your stress and not increase your stress. So finding an organizational style that works for you really should help, make your life easier in the simplest terms. My organizational style changes every so often, so that's okay. Just explore new options and try new things and see what works for you, maybe be able to realize what doesn't work for you anymore. So be aware of yourself and how things are actually working for you. I would also recommend that you consult your friends or coworkers or anyone else in your life that you think is pretty organized. I wouldn't say that talking to an unorganized person would be something useful. So if there is something that you see someone else doing, or you see that somebody has or they seem really organized, then I would say definitely talk to them about it. And lastly, I think it's good to have some type of organizational style. It's just a matter of finding what works best for you, and that can be a challenge because there is, like I said, so much out there. And it's really important to have a way of looking ahead to the next few weeks, the next few months. So these are just some things that you can take away and explore, but always be open to new things and try new things and see what works for you.
Great. So as you can see, this is my email. And I'm kind of going to first walk you through how to use tasks. So if you go up here to where mail is, you come down to tasks. It pops up in the lower right hand corner. So you can see that this is one of my shopping lists of tasks. I have it synced to my phone. So I know that I need boxes of tissues and toilet paper. If I wanted to add something, like I think I need flour right now, I could add that there. You can go to other lists, so I have a general one, but what I'll show you here is we can add a new list. We're going to call it school, and let's say I have a research paper that I need to do, and what I can do then is click here, edit the details. I can add a due date, so it's due on the 28th. I can add a note that I need to turn it in a paper copy. Can go back to list and see that right there. If I want to move things around from one list to another, so let's say I want to move box of tissues, I can move it to my list of general. Once we go back, we'll see it's missing from shopping, and then when we go to general, we can see that it's there. Under here, you can do a couple different things. You can email the task list, print it, view your completed tasks, sort it by the due date, clear the completed tasks. I'll let you play around with that, but this is a pretty great way to just kind of organize yourself if you just want to have little to-do lists and you just want it all in one central location. So next we're going to talk about Google Calendar here. So for those of you that don't know, this little box up here says apps. It's going to be your new best friend. You're going to go over here to calendar. You can see I have a couple different calendars here, all color-coded differently. The first thing that I want to show you is if you click tasks, which mine was not available before, you can see that I have boxes of tissues there. But if we go to school, we can see that I have this due date here, right? So if we go over to my next week, we can see that my research paper is due right there. And if I were to check that off, it would mimic that over in tasks. So then we're going to show you how to create an event in case you're not aware of how to do that. So we'll go to create. We will call this peer meeting. It's going to be happening tomorrow at 3:30 to 4:30. I could set it on repeat if this was something that we were going to keep having. So it could be weekly, and you could end it on a certain date, and then it would show up. So we can do that to show you there. The location is at the WRC. My calendar that I'll put it on is my Heart Work calendar. And then if I wanted to invite someone, like Janie, I could invite her here. I could change the color of it if I wanted. And then I could hit save. I could send the invitations. And then as we can see, the peer meeting showed up there. And it showed up next week and the following week. The next thing that I want to show you is how to create a different calendar. So you go over here, create new calendar. We can call it grad school, since that's something I'm going to be doing here soon. You can share this calendar with others. I only want to share it with a specific person, so let's just say I'm going to share it with Janie here. I'll create the calendar, and then if I needed to show that I was going to have class right here, I could just type in class. I could put it as grad school didn't pop up yet, did it here? So 1 second. I see it over here. It just needed a minute. So we can type in class. And then if I wanted to change the color of grad school to red, you can see that it does it right there. You can also share calendars pretty easily with other people, and you can hide them though if you don't want to see them. So Kevin shared the assistant schedule with me, so if I click it, you'll see I know when everyone's supposed to be in the office, but I don't want that up all the time, so I'm just going to hide it for right now. That should be pretty much everything that we wanted to show you about Google Calendars. If you have any other questions, you can ask us. Real quick, here's some other views that you can put it in. You can do it as an agenda, and you can print these things if that's going to be helpful for you. So we're going to go back here to my mail, and I'd like to show you some of the different labs that you can add to your Gmail. So we're going to go to settings, we're going to go to labs, and you can see that there's a couple different things here. So I have things that are enabled. I have canned responses, which I'm going to show you in a second. I have the Google Calendar gadget, which is this right over here. It's super helpful. I can click on any day and know what I'm supposed to be doing without having to go up here and go to my calendar. I also have enabled undo send, which is super helpful. If you hit send too soon or forgot to add something, you can hit undo and you'll have a few seconds to change the stuff before it will go through. So I want to show you canned responses. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to compose. I'm going to want to get rid of a signature if I have one for this to work better, and I'm just going to type a message that I would normally send. So hello, hope you are doing well. Talk to you soon, Jackie. And I guess I want to make that black. It was picking up my signature stuff. So then what I'll do is I'll go over here to canned responses, and I'm going to save it as a new canned response. I'm going to call it talk to you soon. And then what I can do here, compose, it'll come up with my signature. I will go to canned responses and I will hit insert talk to you soon, and you can see that it'll just pop up. If you have a message that you send pretty frequently, you can type it in here. Take out the trash or something like that. That's a weird example, but anyways, so the next thing I want to show you is about groups. So if I was gonna send this to my roommates and I wanted to, I could create a group of my roommates, right? But the example I'm going to use is I'm on an e-board, and these are my other e-board members, so I created an ADM group. So the way that we do that, and I don't want to send this to them, so I'm just going to get rid of them for now, but we go over here to contacts. You might have to hide your labels down here, but you can hit new group. I'm just going to say friends. I can click on my friends group, add to friends. I can put Janie, we'll put Mariah, and we'll add them to it. If I go back to my mail, I can hit compose. I can type in friends. Well, if I spelled friends right. There we go. And we can see Janie and Mariah, and I could send a message to them very easily. So the next thing that we'd like to show you is going to be under our settings again. So you can see that my inbox may have looked a little bit different from yours, and the way that that is because I have my inbox section set up. So I have my unread at the top, starred next, and then everything else. That's just so that I can keep track better of what I need to do. And then the other things you can kind of do with your inboxes is you can create labels. So you may already have a few of these. I have one for program requests that I'll show you in a minute, but I'm going to create a new label, and I'm going to call it Janie. So I have my label here. Then I'm going to want to go up to filters. I'm going to want to do create a new filter, and if it's from Janie, I'm going to want to create a filter with this search. What I can do is have it automatically apply the label as Janie. I can make sure that it never goes to spam. If I didn't like Janie, I could have it be deleted right away, which I wouldn't do. I could have a canned response, right, if I automatically wanted to do something like that. There's a lot of different ways that you can use this. And I'll just let you play around with it, how you would like it to be. So I'm just going to create the filter. As of right now, she hasn't sent me anything in the last few minutes, so it'll only start based off of those kinds of things. But what I can show you is my program request labels. So this is all of the program requests that come in. Occasionally, things like this email, this is not a program request, neither is this, but it might think that it is, and the only way that you can change that, it's pretty easy. You just go in here and undo it as program request, and then you can see I do want to mark this as unread because I'm not finished with it. But you can see the program request label went away from there. All right. The last thing that I want to teach you guys about is Boomerang. So this is something that you can get by going once again to settings. Under your labs, you should be able to search for Boomerang. Maybe that didn't work. But I think the way that I actually got it was by just searching for Boomerang for Gmail. You would just go here and you would want to click add this to your Gmail. It's super easy. You can see that I have it right up here. So Boomerang is cool. It does a couple different things. So what I would want to do here, I don't want to select this message, but we're going to compose a message to Janie, and we're just going to call it a test. We'll say hello. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to schedule this message to be sent at any time that I want. So I'm going to have it so that I can even pick the date and time. So let's say I want to have it sent tomorrow at this exact time. I can do that. I can hit confirm. I could also schedule recurring messages, so it could be like, hey, pay your rent, pay the electric bill, those kinds of things as a reminder. So I can hit confirm, it's scheduling the message, and then there we go. That might do it sometimes if you haven't been logged in it for a while. So the way that you can see it says it's going to be sent tomorrow at 2:22 p.m. The other thing that I can do is here's a message, and if nobody would respond to this, what I can do is boomerang it, and I can have it be returned to my inbox at any point in time. So I'm going to have it be returned to my inbox in 4 hours because I don't want to think about it right now, but in 4 hours when I get home, that might be something that I want to do. The way you can look at these is